Trivia quiz. Like and subscribe.
Which team won the very first Super Bowl of the 1970s, Super Bowl IV? Kansas City Chiefs. Which 1978 horror movie introduced the mask-wearing killer Michael Myers? Halloween. Which brand of yogurt popularized the fruit on the bottom style in the 1970s? Dannon. Which iconic NYC nightclub opened in 1977 and became the epicenter of the disco scene? Studio 54. Which horse won the Triple Crown in 1973, setting records that still stand today? Secretariat. What 1979 film starring Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep focused on a bitter custody battle? Kramer vs. Kramer. In the 1974 film Chinatown, who played the lead private investigator, J.J. Gitz? Jack Nicholson. What brand of tea, known for its decorative tins, was a common 70s household item? Twinings. Which 1970s TV show featured the characters Fonzie, Richie Cunningham, and Potsy? Happy Days. What McDonald's breakfast item was first introduced nationally in 1975? The Egg McMuffin. What was the first animated film to be nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Picture in 1977? The Rescuers. Which 1970s mystery cartoon featured a Great Dane and a green van called the Mystery Machine? Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? In what year did the first Star Trek convention take place? 1972. Which movie won the Oscar for Best Picture in 1976 and starred Sylvester Stallone? Rocky. What NBA team won the championship in 1970 and 1973, led by Walt Clyde Frazier? The New York Knicks. What was the top-selling album of the 1970s? The Eagles, Their Greatest Hits. Which 1978 musical film starred Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta? Grease. What was the name of the revolutionary pasta dish made with cream, peas, and ham that became popular in the 70s? Pasta primavera. What was the name of the handheld electronic game released by Mattel in 1977 that became a massive hit? Electronic football. What colorful, liquid-filled lamp reached peak popularity in the early 70s? Lava lamp. Which bright orange, powdered drink mix was famously used by NASA astronauts? Tang. Which candy, famous for its pop and fizz on the tongue, was rumored to cause stomachs to explode? Pop Rocks. What year were the Munich Summer Olympics held, which were overshadowed by tragedy? 1972. What fad toy, invented in 1975, came in a cardboard box with air holes and a manual? The Pet Rock. What was the name of the popular 1970s hairstyle characterized by long, winged-back sides, popularized by Farrah Fawcett? The feathered look. Which baseball player broke Babe Ruth's career home run record in 1974? Hank Aaron. Who won 5 consecutive Wimbledon men's singles titles between 1976 and 1980? Bjorn Borg. In Saturday Night Fever, 1977, what was the name of John Travolta's character? Tony Manero. In 1976, which Romanian gymnast became the first to ever score a perfect 10.0 at the Olympics? Nadia Comaneci. Who won the Battle of the Sexes tennis match in 1973? Billie Jean King. Who famously wore a sequined Stardust jumpsuit and brought glam rock to the mainstream? David Bowie. What flavor of hamburger helper was the first to hit shelves in 1971? Beef noodle. What 1977 space opera became a cultural phenomenon and changed cinema forever? Star Wars. Who did Muhammad Ali defeat in the 1974 Rumble in the Jungle? George Foreman. What pills did children of the 70s eat that were actually fruit-flavored candy in a dispenser? PZ. What brand of bubblegum, known for its extremely large bubbles and comics, launched in 1970? Bubblicious. Who was the legendary coach of the UCLA Bruins who won his 10th NCAA championship in 1975? John Wooden. Which Swedish pop group won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974 with the song Waterloo? ABBA. Which fast food chain introduced the Have It Your Way slogan in 1974? Burger King. Who directed the 1979 sci-fi horror hit Alien? Ridley Scott. Which snack cake, featuring 2 chocolate cakes with a cream filling, was a lunchbox staple in the 70s? Ding dongs. Which golfer won the Masters and the US Open in the same year, 1972? Jack Nicklaus. What dinner party trend involved dipping bread or fruit into a communal pot of melted cheese or chocolate? Fondue. Who played Michael Corleone in the 1972 masterpiece The Godfather? Al Pacino. Which 1971 film featured Alex DeLarge and his Drogs? A Clockwork Orange. Which 1975 Steven Spielberg film made people afraid to go into the water? Jaws. What video game, released in 1972, is often credited as the first commercially successful arcade game? Pong. What was the name of the terrifying possessed girl in the 1973 film The Exorcist? Regan MacNeil. What was the name of the colorful, sugar-coated cereal from Post that featured Fred Flintstone? Fruity Pebbles. Which NFL team achieved the only perfect season in history in 1972? The Miami Dolphins.